Welcome to my channel, Eco of Life. Let's start. Today, I shared with you an audio exploration of a powerful idea. Many of the challenges we face stem from a single source, caring too much about what others think. This constant concern for outside opinion, many argue, is at the root of our unhappiness. Today, we're delving into insights inspired by the dialogue in The Courage to be Disliked, a work that draws from the principles of psychologist Alfred Adler, framed as a conversation between a philosopher and a young man. The central idea is this: our inner anxieties are never truly isolated. They are always connected to the social world around us. There is no such thing as a worry that exists purely within an individual. The presence of others is always in the background. The authors suggest that life's problems can be addressed more simply than we think, and that complexity often arises from our own interpretations. They propose that the key to happiness lies in cultivating a particular kind of courage, the courage to be disliked. True freedom, they explain, is not about being admired, but about accepting that you will not be liked by everyone. A lack of confidence, they argue, is often just a lack of this courage. The courage to pursue happiness inherently includes the courage to face disapproval. When you find that strength, your relationships can transform, becoming sources of lightness rather than weight. In this discussion, we'll explore several key themes: the psychology behind unhappiness, why the pursuit of external validation is a path without an end, and guidance on how to build a genuinely contented life. The philosophical view presented is rooted in the belief that every person, regardless of their past, holds the capacity for happiness. The primary distinction between those who are happy and those who are not is their openness to change. This perspective is heavily influenced by Adlerian psychology, which sees the individual as an integrated whole. Our thoughts, emotions, actions, and even unconscious impulses work together, oriented toward a life goal we are pursuing. In this view, our goals don't just influence our happiness, they actively shape our identity. The dialogue extends this idea by framing personality not as a fixed set of traits, but as a lifestyle, a pattern of habits, emotions, and thoughts that we have chosen because, at some level, we believe it serves a purpose. For instance, what might be labeled as antisocial behavior is seen not as an inherent trait, but as a chosen strategy to achieve certain aims. They take it a step further. Our emotions themselves can be tools in service of our goals. We may first decide on an outcome, and then generate the feelings that help us reach it. Consider someone who desires a job but is gripped by such intense interview anxiety that they cannot attend. While they might believe the anxiety is the obstacle, this view suggests the anxiety was created to serve the true goal, avoiding the risk of failure. The person's deeper aim wasn't getting the job. It was staying safe from rejection. A common objection is the role of past trauma. The counter-argument presented is that while difficult experiences undoubtedly influence us, they do not determine our future. Not everyone who suffers hardship remains defined by it. The meaning we assign to our experiences, not the experiences themselves, shapes our path forward. As the dialogue states, we are not determined by what happens to us, but by the interpretations we choose. Therefore, your life from this moment onward is not dictated by your past, but by the choices you make now. If happiness is a choice, why would anyone choose unhappiness? The suggestion is that sustained unhappiness can itself be a strategy to meet certain psychological goals, particularly in our relationships with others. Our overall sense of well-being is deeply tied to the goals we set within our social connections. Broadly speaking, people tend to operate from one of two relational goals: seeking approval from others, or aiming to contribute positively to their lives. The dialogue argues that chronically unhappy people often make approval-seeking their primary objective. They operate on the belief that being seen as good by others is what makes one valuable and, therefore, happy. This mindset is often reinforced by societal systems, like reward and punishment structures in education. However, this pursuit comes at a high cost. In striving for validation, individuals begin to live according to other standards, sacrificing their own autonomy. They describe this as a very unfree way to live. You become confined by the yardstick of others, constantly measuring yourself by external judgment. The deeper issue is that this goal is fundamentally fragile and often unattainable. Whether someone approves of you is ultimately outside your control. When this pursuit feels impossible, people may react in two damaging ways. First, they may give up, adopting a narrative of defeat. They stop trying to connect, generating feelings of fear or self-hatred to justify their withdrawal. Yet, they remain psychologically tethered to the very approval they've stopped seeking, deepening their unhappiness. Second, they may convince themselves there is something inherently flawed about them, making it impossible to be liked. This belief becomes a protective shield against further rejection, but it traps them in a cycle of hopelessness, believing change is beyond their power. The need for approval also distorts how we view others, turning life into a competition. If someone else's success makes it harder for you to gain approval, then their achievements become a threat. This competitive lens breeds envy and resentment, poisoning the potential for supportive, healthy relationships. Furthermore, approval seeking can breed a sense of entitled expectation. If you constantly strive to meet others' expectations, you may begin to resent them when they don't meet yours in return. Acts of kindness can become covert transactions, laden with unspoken demands for reciprocation, which sows the seeds of bitterness. So what is the alternative? How do we move toward a happier life? The proposed path is to shift your primary relational goal from seeking approval to focusing on contribution. Happiness is found in the belief that you are useful to someone, that your presence adds value to the lives around you. When you feel you are contributing, the craving for external recognition diminishes. You no longer need others to validate your worth because you sense it directly through your actions. This focus on contribution is not presented as a purely selfless act. It is done, in significant part, for your own fulfillment and happiness. This is not framed as a flaw. Finding joy in helping others is a sustainable and powerful motivator, far more so than acting out of a sense of burdensome duty or to earn a good person label. At its core, this view holds that every person has inherent value. Simply by being present in the world and in relationships, you contribute. You don't need monumental achievements to deserve happiness. By embracing this, you can practice self-acceptance, acknowledging your imperfections while still believing in your fundamental worth. This mindset dissolves the need for competition. If everyone has inherent value, then another person's success does not diminish your own. You are free to celebrate others without feeling threatened. Finally, happy people are encouraged to focus on the present. Happiness is not a distant prize to be won after great achievements. It is accessible in the current moment by recognizing the small, meaningful impacts you have right now. This doesn't mean abandoning goals, but finding purpose and joy in the journey itself. The essential message is this: it is inevitable that some people will not like you. Lasting happiness, therefore, is found not in trying to win universal approval, but in developing the courage to live by your own values, to contribute in ways that feel meaningful to you, and to accept that disapproval is part of a free and authentic life. Letting go of the need for approval is not an act of rebellion, but an act of liberation.
You are enough.